Hello guys, welcome to my channel. It's Shankos. Hope everyone's doing well. This is a video showing me my tank build. Hopefully it's very useful for anyone who wants to be a tank. I'm actually a paladin, but you can go with being a guardian fighter or a barbarian, which basically my build it's universal. You can use all the gear, all the basics stats for any of those three classes. Hopefully this video doesn't take long, and hopefully as well I don't miss anything. If I miss anything, if you have questions, please leave the comments below. So we start with the race. In my opinion, I believe three of the best races for tank are human, the Aasimar, and the dwarf. I will explain. Humans, because you can have 3 points in any ability score, and you will also gain 1% on all your ratings. This is offense and defense. So having 1 extra percent on all your defense stats is really good. The Aasimar race, which you can unlock it with buying a token from the Zen market. This one is also good if you're having a mixed class role like paladin, tank, or healer. As a tank, or this race will also increase your power, your outgoing healing, your incoming healing, your defense, and maximum hit points by 2%. You will also get 2 points for any 2 stats, and will also grant all nearby party members a 2% increased maximum hit points. This doesn't affect if there are 2 Aasimars on the group. And the last one is the dwarf, because the dwarf have really increased resisting effects to knocks and pushbacks by 20%. Also grants 2 points on constitution or either strength and wisdom. Also you get 5% defense. I'm currently an Aasimar, so when you choose the Aasimar, as I told you, you can choose 2 stats. You can be anywhere. Basically for a tank, the most important one is constitution, and the other one you can either choose charisma and strength. Recently I've been changing my bonuses to strength and constitution. Why? Constitution increases your hit points and strength increases your stamina regen, while charisma only increases your fort and speed. But as a tank, you know, you only need to have special encounters to hold aggro. So I will suggest, well, I recommend that you go with constitution or strength. And if you're going to human, since giving 3 points to any stats, either strength or constitution. So let's join the game and I will show you both my builds. Oh, by the way, I'm playing on PlayStation 4. I'm part of the Cobra Alliance and my guild is Legion. If any Hispanic player wants to join us, feel free to PM me. I will see if we can get you inside our guild. And another thing, I will try to make this video in a Spanish version as well, because I know some people, some players are Spanish and they're trying to find, you know, some guides with Spanish people talking, and if it does well, I will hopefully start making more videos in both languages. Now let's start. So we're here in the training area. I will go first with my tank AoE build. Oh, by the way, I think I already still have a few of my stats, yeah. So as you can see, this is my single target build. Or my defense, awareness, critical avoidance, and deflect are green. I will get that on later before my buffs go out, but I will explain them one by one. So AoE build. My stats at the moment are really messed up because of the buffs I have. Since using buffs, it's only for my single target build. With my AoE build, it's different. As you can see, my defense and awareness it's high. because I have some bonuses companions giving me a bit of these stats. So first of all, well, let's go with my gear. As a helm, I'm using this one because it helps when you have the daily. It helps you pull all the enemies around you so you can crowd control them, stun them for DPS to easy kill them. This helmet you can get it by farming the first heroic boss of the Bolt of Stars in Sharandar. So just by killing the first boss you can grind it. There is another helmet as well. I'm thinking it's from the Dragon Slayer Dragon Hunts campaign, which helps you stun enemies. I think it's a purple helmet if I'm not mistaken. I think it's this one. Yeah, when you use a daily power, you knock back all enemies within 20 feet away from you, stunning undead enemies for 3 seconds. But the one I'm using, it's much better because it pulls all the enemies to you. Chest piece, I'm using the Abyss Conqueror's Provokercast. This one you can get it from the Demon Weapons Master version from the last boss. This one it's nice because when you have stamina, full stamina, it increases your critical avoidance and awareness by 7.5%, and also when you are out of stamina, you gain a 30% stamina regeneration for 5 seconds. It has a 30-second cooldown. This bonus is good, but I think it should be work the opposite. Like the less stamina you have, the more defense stats you should have, because the shield helps you to block incoming attacks, gives you a bit more survivability, and this one should work the opposite. As with my arms, I'm having the Abyss Conqueror's Provoker gloves, which is also drops from the master version of Demon Weapons. These ones, whenever you hit an enemy, you gain 1% power and awareness, and you lose 2.5% movement speed, but it stacks 10 times. You actually don't have like 25% less movement, because as a tank you can use your shield and actually remove the stacks of the less movement. For my weapon set, I have the Solarium Mace and the shield from the master version of the Defense of the Moon Dancer. These ones are a bit, I believe, in my opinion, are a bit more uh, better than the ones from the Master Citadel, because you get less 6% incoming damage as a tank, and you have it constant. The other one is have a special ability, a special bonus that if you're facing one enemy, it increases. If you have more enemies, it reduces. So it should always be constant. Boots, I have the Abyss Conqueror's Provoker's Crushers. This also drops from the Master Demon Weapons, the Master version. I forgot to mention that this one drops from the final boss. This one I think it's from the second boss, and this one is from the first boss. This one, when you're as a tank, you always be closer to your target, so you will get an extra 5% defense. And when you're far, you will get a critical severity. For my neck and waist set, I have the Tiamat's Golden Necklace and the Tiamat Golden Sash. You can get it from the Tiamat Master version, the trial. This set, in my opinion, it's good because as a set, the bonus you get 8% reduced incoming damage, and you get an extra 8% critical avoidance for 10 seconds when your stamina drops below 15% and has a 20-second cooldown. But the incoming damage is always constant. So I've seen a lot of tanks like using higher item level neck and waist for the comp. It's good, but I believe that having 8% less damage, it works better than having a lot of HP pool. For my rings as an AoE, I have the Starting Needle Ring of Celerity. This one you can get it from the Dragon Hunts campaign, which when you're moving, every time you're moving you generate threat, which helps a lot to ground control to get ads. Also, this ring, the Elstrin Enduring, drops from, I think this is one from the master version of the Temple of the Spider. Whenever you have a shield which You can get it from a paladin or a warlock. Any attack against you, you have a 5% to reflect 50% of the damage back to the enemy at 2000 maximum max damage. Well, this is, I only use these two because of the AoE build. I also have this one. This one drops from the master version of the Defense Moon Dancer. You can also buy it from the campaign. It's from this vendor. The vendor is at the Moon Dancer on the deck below. You can get it by with the respective currency. This one, whenever you deflect an attack, you have a 10% chance to receive 5% maximum hit points. This effect only occurs every 5 seconds. And the last one, I had another pair of pants, which was one of these two. Whenever you get area damage for more than 50% of the maximum hit points in a single blow, you get a 5% defense for 10 seconds. These two are also a good option. They don't have a cooldown, but in my opinion, I like these ones better because you always have combat advantage. You know, when you're fighting a boss, and you will get your action points faster for your daily. For my artifacts in the AoE, I have the new Scalilian symbol of water, which is a whirlpool of water when you use it and drags your enemies into it. I also have the Tiamat's glove. For the set, I have the Realm Imaging Core for the bonus, the item level as well, and the other one, which is the Mythala Fragment, which recently, a few days ago, it got a bit of a buff because the instead of having 12% of stamina regeneration, now has 15%. Yeah, so the stats, what you need to focus, it's defense, awareness, critical avoidance, and if deflect last. Also, you have the higher your com, the more hit points you get, the higher your strength, the more stamina regeneration you will have, the more item level you have, the more hit points you will get. So you have to balance all of them in order to have a more survivability. For main enchantments, it will depend on what you need to cap or need to increase. Bonus, I have this one, the 50 movement percent when we are in AoE groups, and my combat advantage is the celestial fortitude nature. Moving on, as my powers, I like to use Oath Strike and Radiant Slam. I use the Burning Light to stun enemies. I use Templar's Wrath, to group them all to generate threat, all of them. And I like to use the Relentless Avenger. This one launches you to an enemy, to a pack of enemies. And as you know, I think some tanks struggle to keep up with some DPS because they have a lot of speed movement and they always reach the enemies first with you. So you can use this for your advantage to keep them up, to reach them first. Shield of Faith, I use them when the AoE, and also the Divine Protector. Remember, because of my helmet I'm using, every time I use any of these two, I will pull all the enemies together. I'm using the Composure to regenerate Divinity 10% faster. I also have the Aura of Vengeance, which hits all your enemies. Another, with my feats, I have the Sacred Shield, which generates increased threat and restore stamina with every strike. You can also use this one for large groups. You can activate your shield with the R1, and you can generate stamina with it, and you get more shield. I have the Burning Vengeance. I also using the Divine Pursuit. I'm using the Shield of the Gods, and lastly the Intimidated Presence. For booms, as Guild Stronghold, I'm using, well, it depends what you need to cap. They can vary for what you need. I usually go with power. With this one I go with defense and movement speed. For the campaign booms, I will put all your hit points on the bulwarks, all the 4-1 we have here. You can use all the defense booms as well, the movement speed, the critical deflect, and For the first tier, the tier 5, I'm using the incoming healing, forte, I'm using stamina regen, and the action point gain. The last booms, when you have them unused, like the last ones from the new campaign, you can dump them on power. Now for the master boom, as AoE, I'm using the focus retaliation, I'm using the life lessons, I'm using enhanced application, and blessed resilience. For companions, I'm using most of them because in packs of groups you need to keep them up, and you always be the enemies will always have combat advantage against you, and the other to have, you know, awareness beats combat advantage. So all my companion bonus have hit points, defense, awareness, so it will help you survive more within groups. With my uh, Celestial Companion enchantment, it's the only one we have. I have 3 Starbound Bell Companion, gives defense and awareness. These ones you can get them from the Wild Space campaign, and I'm using the Minotaur companion. I believe this one for me it's the best companion for a tank. You know, will help you ground control more easily the enemies. As you can see, sometimes he pulls them, he stuns them, so it's better for large groups to help you, you know, control them and not let your group members die. For the mounts, I'm using the Vortex, which is from the Magic Carpet. Grabs all the pack of enemies within a whirlpool of air. I have the Tactics power. And from the companion bonuses, I also have the color for AP gain for faster action point gain. I also have the at will's power, I have the gold bonus, I have the stamina gain, and I have the incoming healing. All my insignias are courage or evasion, depending on what you need. I have the Knight's Commendation because you always have combat advantage when facing a boss. You can get healed. I have the Survivor Blessing. Whenever you deflect, you get healed. The Protector Covenant, which increases your defense stats. I have 2 of them. The next one you can stack like 3, but every time you use one of it's less than 50%. And the last one is the Gladiator's Guile, which my stamina above 75%, I move 10% faster. When my stamina is below 25%, I gain a 10% stamina regeneration. Um, I like to mention as well, like most of the people are using a deflect and deflect severity builds, but these ones are based on, this one especially is based on RNG because it says increases the chance. So the higher chance it's good, but don't rely on it, because if a boss, for example, you have a 10% gap there, a boss makes a critical hit or a big attack and you don't deflect it, you will die. So it's better to have always your defense, awareness, and critical avoidance up. Deflect, you can dump all your resources there, and this one also works in hand with the deflect severity, because whenever you deflect, this is the amount of damage you will be deflecting. So you have like 50% here. Every time you deflect an attack, it will reflect 50% of the damage. Before the combat system changes, awareness wasn't a proper stat, because whenever you had face to face a boss, you was facing him, so you never needed this one. Now every time you are in a boss encounter, any trial encounter, the fight only has a combat advantage on you, so it's better, it's always to have awareness and defense. These ones, the awareness, you know, it says decreases your enemy's damage when being an attack from a combat advantage, but any boss always has combat advantage on you. Defense increases the damage you take, and the critical avoidance, it's the damage you will be you will be decreasing the damage from a critical hit landed by the enemy. So when fighting a boss, all these 3 goes together, because one is the normal attacks, the other one is the combat advantage that the boss gets on you, and the critical avoidance, it's all the critical hits you get. So this is basically my AoE build. I thought I will have time to do my single target build, but I think I will do it on the next video. If you like the video, please like the like button. If you'd like to share it with your friends, go ahead, and thanks for watching.